Hey, what's up? Welcome to Degen Ed. That's degenerative education, meaning none of this is financial advice. Just me having fun looking at charts like the chart behind me, which is of FuelCell Energy, ticker symbol FCEL. So I wanted to go over this chart for a couple of reasons. One, because it was requested, and two, because it actually looks like there's a pretty bullish pattern that has formed, although we may be approaching resistance. So, a lot of interesting things to talk about. All right, and so first things first, on today, December 27th, which is a Wednesday, FuelCell closed at a price of $1.76, which is right around this yellow line at $1.80, which had previously served as support at the end of April, and that actually looks like it was the base of this head and shoulders pattern that broke to the downside. And so I do think that the current price is at resistance, and it does look like it was recently tested previously, and so it may be forming a double top, so there may be a pullback. Also, I'm not going to have them up there for the whole video, but I wanted to point out that the 200-day moving average is at $1.83.6. So that could serve as resistance. Also, the 21-day moving average recently crossed over the 50-day moving average, so that could be a bullish sign. However, that may have played out because I do think that it's going to have to cool off a little bit before it does move higher, and that's also because not only those factors, but also because the RSI looks like it's at 71.84, so slightly in the oversold territory. So I do think that we'll probably see a pullback. But, bigger picture, as you can see from this chart, it does look like it has broken out of a falling wedge that you can see formed based on the lows here at the end of January 2022, also having a touch point here in May 2022 with a high pivot point up here. In, March 2022. And so you can see the two pivot points here for the top line, those blue circles, and then the two pivot points there for the bottom one. And it does look like this has served as support, the base of that, and it does look like it has recently broken out. But I will zoom in just 1 second. Before I do that, though, I want to point out with this volume profile, we can see that this peak in it does coincide with this blue line at $2.12. There's a gap up there. So I do think that if price is able to break above $1.80 and move higher, it will be able to, I think, potentially fill that gap, but I do think it will bump into some resistance there based on, all of this sideways action around the formation of this head and shoulders. But yeah, I'm just going to zoom in a little bit so we can see this better. And and I'm actually going to remove the volume profile so that's not in the way. And so basically, so we got the $1.80 here, as I had mentioned, served as support here. So that's going to be resistance moving forward. Looks like we did get a test of that right around that level on December 18th when price hit a high of $1.77. So right around the current price. So that does look like it may have formed a double top there. So I would expect a pullback. Might actually be really nice to see it come back down to the top of this wedge to retest that as support, which it did here over the past week. And then, retest that before moving higher. So there may be a pullback. There may be another good opportunity to buy if you're looking to go long on this. As I had mentioned, there's a pretty small gap, I believe 2-cent gap at 212, which does coincide with, this is probably going to throw it off, but the 50-day moving average. Oh, okay, that doesn't skew the chart, so that's nice. So it looks like, the 200-day moving average 183.6, and the high today was 184. So ran up, hit that 200-day moving average, and pulled back. So it does look like there is some notable resistance right around current price. And then so it would be nice to see it move up to fill that gap. But as mentioned, there's a lot of consolidation there coinciding with this head and shoulders formation. But then let's see, I'm going to remove the moving averages again and point out $2.55 that had served as support basically a year ago, late December 2022, and into really the new year, that had served as support, broke through in the beginning of April 2023, tested that, got rejected as resistance. That became the top of the shoulders in this head and shoulders pattern. So I do think that 255 is going to be a pretty significant level marked in orange here. If price is able to break above 180, hold that as support, I think it will bump into resistance at 212. If it can hold that, break higher, I think 255 is going to be another key level of resistance that we will want to break above. And let's see, and we can also see that reflected in the volume profile with lots of consolidation down here that was able to break out now in this kind of gap zone. So, you know, I could see it actually moving up higher if there is some volume behind it, but the RSI might need to dip down below 70 first, maybe seeing a move up to 212 next week, testing that, filling that gap, testing that as support, or breaking through that as resistance, testing that, holding it as support before moving higher to 255. And so, you know, those are my thoughts on FuelCell. If you found them helpful, make sure you like the video, share your thoughts in the comments below, and subscribe to the channel for more videos like this. Thank you so much for watching.